Okay, we got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Welcome if you're new. Going to try to keep this video under 20 minutes here, I promise, but it's so much. I'm going to be talking about the Federal Reserve rate cut decision yesterday. We're going to be talking about Meta. We're going to be talking about a sell-off in PLTR, a sell-off in the stock market. I actually just bought some more stock this morning, so we'll talk a little bit about that. A lot of stuff here. If you could do me a really big favor and smash the like button, and if you want to see me again, make sure to subscribe, turn on the notification bell. My social media information is down below in the description if you want to check that out. Otherwise, rate cut decision. What happened? So we got a very hawkish hold. Pretty much Powell came out saying, hey, we're not going to cut interest rates. We're going to stick with the data. It was very hawkish. It was very dry. Should have the Federal Reserve cut interest rates yesterday? It's very much a debatable thing. We also got a reiteration that, hey, the labor market has really stabilized. Unemployment seems to be pretty much coming back around. And, in their eyes, doing a rate cut is very much not on the table. And also the chance of a rate cut now for March's meeting has actually even further plummeted significantly. I believe I actually have it right up here. Hold on one second. Let's see. March. Yep, we actually do have it up right here. So, the chance of a rate cut in March is not looking is really not looking well. We have a 13.4% chance. Obviously, March is definitely a couple weeks. It's a couple months. Oh boy, my brain's on fire. We got time, but here's the catch: if the government shuts down, where it very well could tomorrow, government shut down when can the government shut down? I believe tomorrow. It could be a possibility that the government could partially shut down Friday. So if this government shutdown does happen, it could impact the decision making just like it did back in November several months ago. And if you've been following me on this journey on this channel several months ago, we were buying the dip here all the way down, all the way up. Market basically came down once again, and we picked up some more stuff. I also was buying stock around this time period too. Obviously, this is the S&P 500, but the S&P 500, it's definitely getting a rough momentum, especially after a very hawkish hold here. So, do I believe that the Federal Reserve should have cut interest rates? That's really debatable. I mean, if you really look at true inflation, we're definitely below where they should be. And what I mean by that is, obviously, if this temporary inflation is going to be tariff orientated and it's going to be a one-time inflation deal, well, looking into the future, doesn't that mean that the inflation caused by tariffs is going to go away? So in theory, a rate cut should very well be warranted. You really got to be thinking about that too. So there are a lot of politics at play here. You got to keep that in mind. President Trump has not mentioned who he's going to put into the seat just yet, but whoever he nominates and whoever he chooses, it's going to be a very aggressive rate cut decision for the remainder of this year. But I mean, right now for the market, for the time being, it's definitely showing a very, very red post-day, and a lot of fear is definitely in this market, which is spooking so many people and also causing a lot of harm. And a lot of anger and a lot of these big stocks. Hold on. Oh man, my allergies are killing me. Okay, so that's basically about the Federal Reserve. We had Meta yesterday come in and utterly blow away expectations. Obviously, we're getting a pullback, but Meta after hours yesterday was up by over 10%. It's kind of really humorous because on this channel profile, which I'm going to be talking about more in the later portion of today's video. But I actually transferred over some more cash, and I was actually getting ready to very much buy the dip on Meta just in case it ended up tanking down. It's kind of really funny because Meta several weeks ago was actually very much in the red on an overall position here. Not to mention SoFi was actually above AMD here as well. SoFi is getting its teeth utterly kicked in. But we're going into a very bullish earnings, and maybe we have a lot of room to really definitely go back to near all-time highs in SoFi. This video is definitely not SoFi orientated, but I will say that SoFi is definitely receiving a lot of pain because their lending banking sector, especially how interest rates are definitely not coming down. But then again, SoFi has been able to grow in a high interest rate environment. So a lot of people kind of really forget that entirely. Now, Meta, what is my game plan with Meta? Yesterday, I basically pretty much said, hey, if Meta's going to be trending down, I'm going to be adding some shares. Obviously, we have the exact opposite. Meta came in, they beat expectation. They're still spending a tremendous amount of money, which is spooking out a lot of long-term investors. But, I mean, hey, CapEx spending goes towards AI, and it's supposed to be going to generate future revenue. We are seeing a return on that revenue being generated. So is it justified? Is it not? You got to look at the CEO who's been there from the start and also is an innovator. You got Facebook, you got Meta, you got Instagram. I mean, right then and there are three majorly used platforms all around the world. The vast majority of people are on Facebook. The vast majority of people use Instagram these days. Elections are on Facebook and Instagram. We are going into an election year. So their revenue is going to be ticking up higher because money's going to be funneling on in, especially for advertising of campaigns. However, with the overall downside to the market, me personally, unless Meta really does actually experience a really big sell-off here to my average on this stock here, I'm not really looking to pretty much add any more shares. It just is such a shell shocker because this company is just absolutely so strong. If you are a Meta shareholder, congratulations. Yesterday after hours probably definitely put a smile on your face. It definitely really did for me, significantly. And I mean, every single time that I've been in this stock, I've always made money. Can we trend near all-time highs? I really want to say by the end of this year, 2026, Meta is going to be either near or beyond all-time highs. Honestly, we very well could see that during the summer as long as they continue to put up great numbers and continue to beat on their revenue. There is just really nothing wrong with this company. It is still growing, and the growth rates and the cash flow is significantly higher than the other top companies out there. Microsoft obviously really flopped on their earnings yesterday. Not really going to go into too much detail. Tesla was pretty much Tesla is definitely selling off a little bit, but Tesla's margins came in on their earnings actually really good, which has always been a thing that a lot of Tesla investors really look for. But I don't really talk about Tesla too much on this channel. Neither do I really talk about Microsoft. I kind of really stick to the stocks that I really own or really think about getting into. But I will say Meta, I'm definitely very much happy. We are very much green today on this very bloody, thirsty Thursday. So I mean, yeah, the market is definitely taking an ass beating because of the rate cut decision. And also pretty much how we're probably going to have another government shutdown as well too, which is just very unfortunate. I do want to talk about Adobe here for a little bit. because Adobe is experiencing a massive drawdown, not only fundamentally, but also just on a technical analysis basis. We are about to challenge the 2022 lows. This is just unfriggin' believable when you have a company that came out and said they ended up triple beating. Obviously, if we go back to 2022, the revenue and the EPS is like, we are up by over 50% on our revenue and EPS from 2022, but we are about ready to challenge the price of 2022. That is just like, come on. Like, that is such a just kick in the groin. It's not even funny. But here is the reality about Adobe. The reality about Adobe is that so many people are so fearful that Adobe is going to go away overnight because of AI is going to take over Adobe. AI is very much integrated not only in the company itself, but like, how many people out there use Adobe products on a daily basis? I use Adobe products every single day, whether it's to edit some images for YouTube, or honestly, whether it's to read a friggin' PDF file. They're not going to magically go away. It doesn't work like that. It is going to be a very quick, it is going to be a very fast reversal. And it could very well be something like this, where back in May 23, all the way up until August into September, we are up by 70 friggin' percent. It's going to be fast, it's going to be quick, and anyone that is doubting this great company is going to be like looking the other way, and by the time you know, this company is going to be up by 20, 30, 40%. Same thing with Meta. Meta moves very, 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 very fast. Meta is a very fast company that moves extremely quick, and it's just really crazy. A lot of doubters are out there, especially around these companies, just because they're trading a little bit of rich. But as for Meta, you can't really be using that argument. Meta has proven itself over the years, especially with just everything they've done. They're just spending a very large amount of money, which is causing a lot of unanswered questions to really be out there. Is this high amount of money being spent going to produce some revenue like returns? That's pretty much like overall like theme around Meta. Adobe is completely different. Now, I do want to talk about Palantir because I did actually buy another share of Palantir here today, along with Adobe as well. I really despise how Webull kind of takes a while to really update some stuff on here, because it's not like Robinhood. My private profile is Robinhood. My channel profile is Webull. I honestly probably really should have just made another Robinhood profile. It drives me friggin' crazy here. But for anyone that is new here, like I said, I am doing a challenge here. So just transferred over $2,500. This public account challenge is going to be from now 40K and some change to about 6 figures in the course of 17 months. Is it possible to grow this account to 6 figures in 17 months? Oh yeah. With all the stuff that these companies that I'm invested in, once all this fear goes away, and once we have a new Fed chair, the remainder of 2026 could be an epic bull run. Not to mention we have a person in the presidency that has a very large ego. The guy is not going to let the stock market fail, especially when he's in office, especially when it is midterms. So you gotta take that in consideration. Now, I did buy a share of Palantir, and I also did buy a share of Adobe as well. I ended up buying over, honestly, probably all in all, probably close to about $40,000 worth of stock. I don't trade on margin. I don't believe margin is a good way to go. I honestly believe it's bad JoJo. But I bought all this stock here, minus SoFi. SoFi on this account, I ended up buying during Liberation Day. On my private account, I've been buying SoFi since 2022 when nobody wanted it. My average on my private account on SoFi is $7.41. Massive position. Up well over 200 and it was at one point over 300%. Now it's getting kicked in the teeth, but still up tremendously on SoFi. Palantir and Adobe. Adobe obviously has surpassed Palantir, along with Meta, is really producing a lot of gains. I mean, I'm utterly shocked and surprised, and I talked about this yesterday. A lot of people get turned off in buying large number shares. And what I mean by that is like a $600 share. A lot of people get turned off by it. I do understand that a lot of people, it does come down to like, hey, I can only invest this much amount of money, X amount of weeks, X amount of months. You know, I'm kind of really tight with my money right now. You can always buy fractional shares. That is something that is very doable as well too. Not to mention there are plenty of other growth companies out there that do have an extreme amount of higher growth rates than definitely Meta. But as for Meta, it's just such a shell shocker. I've been in and out of this stock now close to about half a dozen times, and it's always produced a great amount of returns. So Meta is going to be doing great things over the course of this year and even next year too. Adobe, I'm probably going to be adding some more shares over time on Adobe. It's pretty remarkable because a couple weeks ago, I was actually up over 15% on my Adobe. I actually was talking to someone and they said, like, why didn't you sell out of Adobe, then buy back in? Okay, first of all, I'm not God. I don't have any divine powers. I didn't realize Adobe was going to pull back and then bust through and be making friggin' like lows all the way going back to 2023 and potentially 2022. I can't predict that. I can't predict what the scumbag politicians are going to do, such as potentially shut down the government. I can't predict it. So what do? You buy more shares of a phenomenal company that's going down. The flip is going to happen where the stock is going to follow the company. The company's growing. The company is triple beating. Wall Street is going to realize this very soon, that Adobe's not going anywhere. Palantir, really quick, closing this video off here. Palantir, I did not buy aggressively back in November. I did not buy Palantir and also Hood aggressively. Obviously, I got some bling bling here, but I do got some rules on this profile challenge. This profile challenge was 18 months. Now it's 17 months. If I do transfer over another $2,500, it's going to go down to 16 months. Obviously, I can't keep transferring over money and saying like, hey, more money coming in to double and triple. It's the time to do the challenge has to go down. Why am I doing an account challenge? Because it's here for motivation and to really show that, hey, I'm a retail trader. Add up my two profiles, I am beyond a six-figure trader. I'm 37 years old. I've done a lot in my years, and so should you. You should work hard, build accomplishments. Don't let the haters and the doubters scare you away from building your dreams, chasing your dreams, tackling your dreams. But understand that once you tackle your dreams, you got to go right back out there and tackle new dreams. A lot of people forget that mentality. It's a never-ending game. God has a weird sense of humor. God really does. And you gotta be able to take a punch. And right now, I'm taking a punch because a lot of my positions are very much red. PayPal is like just creeping lower and lower. It's so sad. But I mean, Palantir, real quick on this closing video. We have earnings very soon on Palantir. I believe Palantir is next Monday of next week. It is falling off a cliff. It is below the 200-day moving average, which it has not done. It has actually not even touched the moving day average since 2024. To be honest, the 200-day moving average has not even been broken since 2023. It is scaring people like crazy. So can we go lower to 140 on Palantir? Oh yeah, we definitely can. Honestly, we're right now around the lows from back in November. Could we go down to 142 where we were back in August of last year? Yes, we can. The next support, honestly, is probably going to be around 128. And then below here, we also have 119. And then we go all the way down to 105 to a full-blown crash. And would I buy this entire V? I would, because the company is not slowing down on their growth. And Palantir has very much stated that they're just going to be picking up more and more government contracts. And it's very much that the Trump administration is very in favor to Palantir's business. So it is so much fear. It is just ridiculous. I really want to build my Netflix position, but holy cow, Netflix is a shell shocker. It's like not, I mean, Netflix has fallen off a cliff here. But at the same time, I mean, Netflix is very much oversold on a technical analysis basis. Palantir, we are now entering oversold territory on a technical analysis basis, but we can go lower. There is nothing stopping this thing from going lower. If you are a Palantir shareholder, you got to stick to what your strategy is. I got my own strategy here. So understand that what I'm talking about is what I'm doing, and this is my strategy. You buy the fear on companies that are beaten down. If you are a long-term investor in companies, you buy the fear, you pick up discounted shares for the future. If you are trading companies, you buy the blood, you buy the fear, you sell the rip. It's a very easy process. It has made me hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars of profits. And I am a profitable investor and a profitable trader. So therefore, I'm going to leave you all on this closing note here. Stick to your game plan. Don't be scared. I'm sticking to my game plan. Tomorrow we have SoFi's earnings. It's, to be honest, I would not be surprised if SoFi blows us away. And honestly, SoFi's probably going to go up. And it very well could come back down. Understand your game plan. Remember your game plan. My game plan is holding SoFi for the next decade. Why? Is because the management team has provided me clarity for the next decade. AMD, I'm looking to hold for the next 3, 5, maybe even longer years. They're going to do great things with the chips. Palantir, it's all about their growth rates, but I don't believe this company is going to be slowing down anytime soon. Hood is in new territory. They're going to be following Bitcoin. Bitcoin right now is selling off like crazy. I don't really have enough time here to dive into Bitcoin, but we could see back down to 80K. Meta, phenomenal company, probably going to be holding into 2027. Adobe, same thing. PayPal, I talked about with my game plan here a couple days ago. Honest Company is probably just going to be a trade. Same thing with Netflix as well too. But this is my strategy here. That is what you got to remember. So, super closing note once again. Stay motivated. Don't let this nonsense scare you out, and don't let the cocksuckers in our government scare you away too. Love you all. Please subscribe for future videos, and later.